All right, so today we're going to begin work in lesson 5.2, which is writing equations in standard and point slope form. So we're going to look at these two forms, how they're made up, and then we're going to either be given information and write equations to those forms, or be given information like slopes and intercepts and points and work to write equations in those two forms. Okay, so it's important that you write these down and have these available to see to help you with this process. All right, first thing we look at is point slope form. Now, point slope form looks like this. It's y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. All right, and when you look in there, there's things we got to pick out. First of all, this m, as usual, is the slope of the line. So whenever we find the slope of our line, we'll plug it in place of the m. Okay, the x sub 1, y sub 1 represent a point that we know is on the line. So when we know a point is on a line, we're going to replace x sub 1 with the x value, y sub 1 with the y value, and then we'll have it written in point slope form. Point slope form is a great form to use to convert to other forms. It's a great starting point, and I'll show you how that works. All right, let's say we're asked to write an equation in point slope form. Okay, it's a line that passes through the point negative 2, 7 and has a slope of negative 3 over 2. Or negative 3 halves, and then we're going to graph it. Okay. Well, first of all, I always start by writing down the general formula. And I know in this formula, this point slope form, I need two things. I need the slope, which we have, negative 3 over 2. And I need a point the line passes through, which we have, which is negative 2, 7. Okay. Now it's really just simple. We're going to plug in these values into this point slope form. So the negative 3 over 2 is going in place of m. In place of x sub 1, I'm going to put negative 2. And in place of y sub 1, I'm going to put 7. So the x and the y stay in the equation. So it looks like this. Y minus 7 equals negative 3 over 2 times the quantity of x minus negative 2. Now, the only thing we have to do to simplify this form is to make sure I don't have something like this, minus a negative. And that's all I'm going to do to simplify it. I'm going to rewrite this as y minus 7 equals negative 3 halves times the quantity of x plus 2. And that's it. That's point slope form. You leave it right there. Okay. So we're done with the first part. Now it says graph it. Well, you guys know how to graph. First thing we're going to do is start with a point we know is on our line, which they're telling us is negative 2, 7. So I'm going to go negative 2, 7, put a point. Now, the second thing we do is we use the slope, negative 3 over 2, to plot another point on the line. So you should know that a negative slope means our line is going down from left to right. Okay, I could go up 3 to the left 2, but that takes me off the graph. So I'm going to go down 3 to the right 2, down 3 to the right 2. I like to put a few points here because if you screw up with just one movement, you can still draw a straight line through it. If you do it a couple times, then you can make sure that your line goes through the points and you've done your slope correctly. And that's what happens here. Okay, so pretty simple to graph it. And it's pretty simple to write it in point slope. You just got to plug it in. Now it's important you write this down so you have it. Okay. All right, let's look at some other things here. Write the equation in point slope form given 2 points. So we're going to write our equation in point slope form, and it's going to go through these 2 points. Okay, so we know we need two things to write the equation in point slope form. We need a point the line goes through, and we need the slope of the line. So we got a couple points to choose from, but what we don't have is slope. So the first thing we'll do is find slope. Same way as we always do it. Difference in the y's over difference in the x's. Negative 3 minus negative 7 over 6 minus 2. And then minus a negative 7 becomes plus 7. So I got negative 3 plus 7 in the top, 4 on the bottom. 6 minus 2 is 4. That gives me 4 over 4, which is 1. Okay, so now I know my slope is 1. So at this point, we're ready to write our point slope formula. We take this slope in either of these 2 points. It doesn't matter which one you choose, and I'll show you this in a bit. You're going to be able to write the equation that way. So I'm going to start by choosing slope of 1, and I'm going to choose the point 2, negative 7. Okay, remember we're replacing m with 1. X sub 1 is going to be the 2. Y sub 1 is going to be negative 7. So it's going to look like this: y minus negative 7 equals 1 times the quantity of x minus 2. And then the only thing we have to do to simplify it is change this around to be y plus 7 equals 1 times the quantity of x minus 2, and you're done. That's point slope form. Okay. All right. Let's say you decided to use the point 6 negative 3. Well, same stuff, right? M equals 1. The point we're going to use is 6 negative 3. Okay. Plug in negative 3 for the y sub 1, 6 for the x sub 1, 1 for slope. Okay. And then simplify, right? Minus a negative is plus 3. Okay. Either one of these two is the correct answer. You don't have to do them both. I'm just showing you this for a reason here, and you'll see in a second. But either one of these is a final answer. Now, to show you proof that these two are actually the same thing, I'm going to solve each one of them for y and show you that we wind up with the same equation in the end. So let's take this first one. Let's distribute the 1 through the parentheses. That would give me y plus 7 equals x minus 2. Subtract 7 from both sides, y equals x minus 9. That's slope-intercept form. So my slope is 1, my y-intercept is negative 9. All right, let's take this equation. Distribute the 1 through. Y plus 3 equals x minus 6. Subtract 3 from both sides, y equals x minus 9. Exact same thing, guys. It's the same equation. They're just written with using two different points, but it's the same line. So this is kind of your evidence that no matter what point you use, they may look different here, but they're the same in the end. Okay. All right. Next idea is to change point slope to slope intercept form. Well, I really just showed you how to do that. It's a pretty simple thing to do. So if we're asked to change point slope, y plus 4 equals negative 2 times x minus 6, into slope intercept, I got to solve for y. I want it to be y equals mx plus b. Okay, so to solve this for y, the first thing we got to do is distribute that negative 2 through the parentheses. Okay, and then we're going to isolate y. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I got y equals negative 2x plus 8. I'm done. That's it. So now we've converted from point slope to slope intercept, and it's really simple to do. Okay, let me have you guys do this one. I'm going to pause this right here if you would like. Take a second to distribute the negative 1/2, subtract 3. Tell me what you get. I'll wait a couple seconds, then I'll put it up here. All right, you should have y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1 when you go through your simplification process. Okay, pretty straightforward stuff there. All right, now let's talk about standard form. Okay, you've seen equations given in this form already. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now, what happens is we want the a, the b, and the c. When we write it in this form, we want those to be integers. So those are positive and negative whole numbers. Okay, they can be positive or negative whole numbers. No decimals, no fractions. Okay, a also must be positive. So a has got to be a positive integer. B and C could be negative integers, but they all got to be positive, or excuse me, they all have to be integers, which are whole numbers. Okay. All right. Let's talk about changing point slope to standard form. Okay. So point slope is y minus 1 equals negative 2/5 times x minus 3. Now, you should recognize that as point slope form. Okay. So to change point slope form to standard form, okay, we're going to have to distribute our negative 2/5 through the parentheses. Give me, negative 2/5 x minus 6/5. Okay, now if you look at the form, I want the x term and the y term on the left, and the c is just the number with no variable attached, and that on the right. All right, but I also said no fractions, no decimals. So at this point, I'm going to eliminate these denominators of 5. And we've done this before. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides by 5. All right, group this, distribute the 5 through. Group this, distribute the 5 through. And what that will do is this is obviously going to become 5y minus 5. But over here, as I distribute the 5 through, the 5's cancel. The 5 in the denominator, 5 cancel, leaves me negative 2x. Distribute the 5 and the denominator 5 cancel, leaves me minus 6. So by doing that little step, I've eliminated all fractions. So now I have whole numbers. Okay, so now it's a matter of getting the x and the y term on the left and the numbers on the right. So let me do that part first. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. That's going to make this one 0. Cancel it out. Now, when I add 2x to the left, if I look at the terms I have, I got a 5y and a negative 5, and now I'm adding 2x. 2x is not like any of these terms. So it just becomes part of the left side. Now I have three terms, 2x plus 5y minus 5. The right side is now just negative 6. The last step is to get rid of this negative 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And now I have it written as 2x plus 5y equals negative 1. Guys, that's standard form. ax plus by equals c. My a in this case is 2. The b is 5. And the c is negative 1. Okay, they're all whole numbers, they're integers, and a is positive. So that's that process. Okay. All right, again, what if we were asked to change slope-intercept form to standard form? So now it's not point slope to standard, it's slope-intercept. Well, it's the same idea. We want to rewrite it so it's ax plus by equals c. No fractions, no decimals, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is let's get rid of this denominator of 2 here, this fraction. We're going to multiply both sides by 2. Right? 2y is 2y. 2 times negative 7 halves. The 2's cancel, leaves you negative 7x. 2 times 5 is 10. Now it's written with no fractions. So now it's a matter of getting the x and the y term on the left and the whole number on the right. So we'll add 7x, right? 7x and 2y are not like terms, so we're just going to write 7x plus 2y equals 10. Their standard form. A is 7, B is 2, C is 10. Right there. Okay. Okay, now we'll ramp it up a little bit, and we're going to have to write an equation in standard form for a line that passes through these 2 points. Okay, so our objective is, in the end, we want our equation in standard form, ax plus by equals c, starting out with just giving us 2 points. Okay, so the plan is we're going to either write this equation to start with in either slope-intercept or point-slope form first, and then we're going to take that form and change it to standard form. Okay, so to be able to write slope-intercept or point-slope, you can see slope's part of both those. We got to know the slope first. Okay, so this is pretty standard stuff. Find the slope. Well, that's the difference in the y's over difference in x's. Negative 11 minus negative 4, negative 6 minus 8. That's negative 11 plus 4 over negative 6 plus negative 8. So it's negative 7 over negative 14, which is positive 1/2. Okay, so I got positive 1/2. I think the simplest thing to do here is to go right to point slope, because we're just going to load in our information. Okay, so point slope is this, right? Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. Okay, so I'm going to take the slope of 1/2, and then I'm going to pick one of the 2 points. Won't matter which, like I showed you before. I'm going to take 8, negative 4, and I'm going to take this information and put it into this equation. So I got y minus negative 4 equals 1/2 times x minus 8. Okay, and I'm going to simplify this part of it and make it y plus 4 equals 1/2 x minus 8. Remember, guys, that's point slope form. Now I'm going to take the point slope form and convert it to standard form. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to distribute the 1/2. Now I'm going to eliminate the fraction. Remember, in standard form, we can't have fractions or decimals. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Okay, 2y plus 8 equals, it'd be x minus 4. And now I need to get the x term on the left. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Negative x plus 2y plus 8 equals negative 8. Get the whole number to the other side, subtract 8. And I get negative x plus 2y equals negative 16, right? Yes, I do have that. However, we're not done yet. This is not considered standard form for the reason that my first term is supposed to be positive. This is supposed to be a positive term in the front. Remember, a is positive. Right now, I would say a is negative 1. B is 2, C is negative 16, right? I got to have a to be positive. So the way I'm going to make that positive is to multiply everything by negative 1. Okay, negative 1 times negative x is positive x. Negative 1 times negative 2y is minus 2y. Negative 1 times 16 is now positive 16. There is my correct answer in standard form. A is 1, B is negative 2, C is 16. Okay, so it's a little technical thing, but you got to check your first term. That's got to be positive. Okay. All right, that takes us through what we want to get done today. We're going to work on point slope form and standard form. You have a worksheet today. You have to show all your work, guys. Show me how you're doing it. Don't just do it all in your head and write it down. That's not going to work. I want to see process. Okay, very important. All right, I'll let you get